Hello Year 4 and welcome to our final science lesson of this half term where we will be doing a sound investigation. So please can you pause the video to pop the short date and the title neatly into your books. Excellent, well done. Okie dokie. So some total recall to start. I would like you to draw a simple diagram in your books under your title showing how we hear sounds. So think about including a sound source, something that makes a sound, showing how sound gets from the source to our ear and how we hear it. Okay, if you want to label it, add some words, some key vocabulary, you can. The next bit of total recall, I would like you just to write these sentences in your book and fill in the gaps. A low pitch has a what frequency? Does it have a high frequency or a low frequency? A high pitch has a something frequency, and frequency means what? Pause the video to do that, please. And then we'll go on to our last piece of total recall, which is asking you, do all animals hear the same sounds? And can you think of any examples? And just think back to last week's lesson to help you with that. Okay, well done. So let's move on with our lesson today. We're going to need these learning foci, being really absorbed and listening brilliantly. Here's our key vocabulary. We've covered them all already. So it's vibrations, sound wave, pitch and frequency. And if you weren't quite sure in your total recall, the frequency is how close together, how often the sound waves happen. And of course, the higher the frequency, so the more often the sound waves occur, the more vibrations there are, the higher the pitch. If the frequency of the sound waves is low and slow, because the object is vibrating slowly, then the pitch of the sound is low. Hope that helps you to remember. Okay, so just a quick recap about having a sound source. Maybe it's a tuning fork or guitar or a drum or some vocal cords. And when it vibrates, it makes a sound and it passes the vibrations on to particles in the medium. That could be air or water or even a solid. And those little vibrations get passed on to one another in sound waves. And that goes all the way to our eardrum where we hear them. So for today's investigation, you're going to need 3 or 4 of the same drinking glasses or mugs. Okay, so if you've got a set at home, maybe 4 mugs which are all the same type, perfect. If you've got 3 glasses which are all the same, that's great. If you don't have this, you can do the same thing using just 1 glass or mug. And in the video we're going to watch, I'll explain how to do that. You'll need a spoon because you're going to be tapping these glasses or cups to make a sound. A wooden spoon is safer, less chance of accidental breakage. And then you'll need some water. And we're going to be doing an investigation just like this. You're going to be setting up your glasses or your mugs, putting different amounts of water in, tapping them and listening to the sound. Do not start yet. I want you to pause the video, get all of your equipment, and then wait until you've seen the video of me explaining how to do it. Before we do any science investigation, it's very important to predict. So I've done the hard bit for you. I'd like you to copy these 3 sentences and just fill in the gaps, please. So you're going to predict when you tap the same glass or mug with the same spoon, will it make a different sound or the same sound every time? Next prediction. When you add a little bit of water to that glass, the sound you make when you tap it, is it going to be high-pitched or low-pitched with a bit of water in? And then if you add even more water, almost full right up, and you tap it again with the same spoon, are the sounds going to be even more high-pitched or more low-pitched? If you would like to rewrite these sentences in your own words, that's fine. They're there to help you. So pause the video, write your predictions about what you think is going to happen, and then unpause when you're done, please. Okay, super. So we're set up. We've got our equipment ready. We know what we're doing. We've recapped previous knowledge about vibrations and frequency of sound waves. And now we're going to watch the video to find out how to do the investigation. So here we go. Hi Year 4, we're on to the investigation part of the lesson, and what you'll need ideally is 3 or 4 glasses or mugs which are the same. We want to keep it a fair test, so you can see here I've got 3 glasses that are the same. If you don't have that, you can just reuse one and do the same experiment, the same investigation reusing it, and I'll show you how to do that in a moment. I've got 3 glasses which are identical, and I've got some water for later on in the investigation, and if you've got food colouring it just helps you to see the water a bit better. I haven't, so I'm going to use good old Worcester sauce. So the first thing you'll need to do is to gently tap each of your glasses or mugs, maybe with a wooden spoon or something similar that's not going to break it, and listen to the pitch that each glass or mug makes. So let's have a listen. One more time. Pretty much the same pitch. That's what I expected, but as a scientist I have to check. So my 3 glasses, which are the same, they make the same pitch sound when I tap them. Now I'm going to add some water. In fact, let me put a bit of food dye in, or Worcester sauce if you haven't got any. So don't have to do this, it just helps you to see the water a little bit more easily. Okay. So in this glass I'm going to put just a tiny bit of water, and in this glass I'm going to put a little bit more, and in this glass I'm going to put even more. Okay, so now I've still got the same 3 glasses, I've just added a little bit of water, half full with water and nearly full with water. I'm using the same implement to make my sound, to keep it a fair test. Let's listen to what happens. One more time. Now they make completely different pitched sounds. And that's very interesting. So, as great scientists, I would like you to do this investigation, to have a think why that happens. What do you notice? Is the pitch higher or lower with more water? What patterns do you see? Think about vibrations, because they make sounds, and why do you think this is happening? Like I said earlier, if you only have 1 glass or mug which is the same, just reuse it. I could use this one. I could tap it first and hear the sound. Then I could add a little bit of water. Tap it again. I could add more water. Tap it again. And so you can do the same investigation with just 1 mug or glass if you don't have 3 or 4 which are the same. After you've completed your investigation and you've written down what you noticed and why you think it happens, it's time to have some fun. Maybe you can make some tunes and send your teacher a video. You can probably do even better. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a lovely half term. Bye. Okay, Year 4, I hope your investigation was really fun and tuneful. Just like in school, it's really important we tidy everything up. It's not down to anybody else to mop up your water or your mess, so please clean and tidy up before we carry on. Super, okay, here we go. Now, it's time to record our results, what you observed, and also your conclusions. So, in your books, pause the video. I'd like you to write, the more water in your glass or mug, the something pitched the sound. Did the pitch of the sound you make go up as you added more water, or down? So was it high pitched or low pitched? And then this is the tricky bit, the conclusion. I'd like you to write, I think this is because, and try to write 1 or 2 sentences explaining why you think that happened. Think about things like the frequency of sound waves, how much the glass was able to vibrate. There are a couple of little clues there. Okay, and your teachers will be really interested to see your conclusions and your thinking behind what you observed when you tapped your glasses or cups with different amounts of water in. And unpause the video when you've done all of that neatly in your books, please. Super. Okay, so the very final thing, the plenary, is to click the link below. It will also be on Sway. And have a look at the video on that page. There's a little boy doing an investigation very similar to the one you've just done, and he did it with bottles. And there's a really, really fascinating thing that happens, not only when you tap the bottles with different amounts of water in, but then if you blow the top, you make a noise, something really interesting happens. Again, that might be something you are able to try at home if you've got bottles. Please feel free to do. At the very least, you can enjoy the video and see what happens. Okay, that's the end of science for this half term. I hope you've learned lots about sound. Please remember to share your learning with your teachers, and I look forward to seeing you very soon. Take care. Bye.